My name is Jeremy Ogusky, and I'm a full-time studio potter. There's a lot of steps. I mean, ceramics is all about multiple steps and patience along the way. A lot of my work is inspired by my daily life. So how I would use ceramics and how I work in the kitchen and in my things I do in my life inspires what I will make in the studio. So I took my first class in high school. I didn't really know what to study. I didn't have a lot of ideas, and I figured, oh, I can take a ceramics class in high school. And I started by hand building. I remember my first piece, I wanted to make a giant vessel. And so what I did was I took a giant block of clay and I started hollowing it out, which is probably the most inefficient way to make anything. And the next day, my ceramics teacher brought in a master Korean potter who worked on the potter's wheel, and I watched him work for an entire day on the wheel, and I thought, this is much more efficient and looks like a lot more fun. So after that, the next day after I saw the demo, I started on the wheel, and I never went back. I worked for a long time not in ceramics, but I worked doing community health education. I did a lot of HIV/AIDS work and public policy. And I lost my job in public health, which had never happened before. I'd never lost a job, and it was kind of a ego-shattering, in a way, event. But my wife really encouraged me to think of it as an opportunity. And after I lost my job, I thought more seriously about ceramics. And flip it around, I was able to see it as an opportunity eventually. The last few years, I've been selling a lot of fermentation crocks. That has really been growing. I started really using them myself. I started in my own kitchen, using my crocks to make pickles and sauerkraut. And then I just started distributing the food, and friends would ask me about it. And so I'd say, you can do this yourself. And I would give them a crock. I started by just starting small scale, distributing my crocks super locally into friends. And then I started selling them a little bit more and more, and I started selling them online. And then Williams Sonoma found me, and I started making hundreds of these crocks and selling them all over. I think both ceramics and fermentation and the fermentation crocks that I make are a way for me to engage and build community. So it's a way for me to meet people, teach people how to use my work, and build connections with others, with customers, clients, and just meet other folks. And that's really what I enjoy. That's what is so cool about ceramics for me, is that I'm able to, it's just the catalyst for me to reach out to others and build those connections. A lot of what we know about earlier peoples is through their ceramics, because the ceramics are one of the things that outlasts them. We'll dig up ceramics, archaeologists will dig it up in the ground, and we can interpret it, look at the symbols and the language or the ideas from the pots, and that's how we know about previous people. Some potters will feel proud, or they'll get a kick out of knowing their stuff will last generations. I'm not sure I'm really that interested in it. I'm interested in people using my work now. I don't know what people will think in the future. I would never make ceramics in a cave because I had to. If no one would ever use it. If I didn't have any end user, if there were no customers, I would stop making ceramics.